But check this out. If you want your hips, low back, knees to feel amazing, follow this protocol for 30 days, step by step. Now check this out. This is basically a movement hygiene protocol. If you can get all these exercises in daily, fantastic. If not, get at least 50% of them in. And every single day, right? 7 days a week, spend about 6, 10, 12 minutes if you can doing these drills, and like just see how much better you feel from doing them. Like every single one of them, again, I'm gonna take you through them. Make sure you follow this protocol and see how you feel later. All right, so we'll start with a banded cat-cow. We could do a cat-cow with obviously without the band, but this just gives you feedback, right? Which I love because now I can stay down in my all fours position. And the band helps you go, okay, let the band sink into your spine, and I'm gonna push it with my low back, right? So I'm pushing the band away, nice and controlled, and then again, let it sink into your spine. So I'm just working that low back, right? Let it sink as far as it can into extension, and then drive it out. Pause, control it back. Again, I like this because it gives you some external feedback, so it's much easier, right, to move around. So I would usually go 10 to 12 reps, like really nice and controlled on that one. And from there, and by the way, like these don't have to be, I would say in a particular order. I like this one. From there, we're gonna go to a Bretzel. I've seen me do a Bretzel many a time before, but we're gonna work. It's opening up the hip and getting that upper back open up, right? So I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put this under my neck. Better variation. You can go under your knee as well here, depending on if you're tight, right? But I'm just gonna keep my neck in a neutral position. I'm gonna lock this down. I'm gonna pull my back, so I'm gonna grab my ankle, pull my hip, okay? And from here, all we're gonna do, so I'm gonna inhale through the nose, right? I'm pulling so I feel that hip stretch. I'm pushing this one down. My low back's like nice and neutral. I'm gonna inhale through my nose. And then when I exhale, I'm gonna let that back shoulder drop, and I'm looking back. And I'm gonna reset. Come back up. Again, inhale. Into my belly, like fill it up as much as I can. Exhale. And you'll usually be able to get more and more range of motion, right? So I'd go about 6 to 8 reps. And on that last rep, I'm actually gonna just stay here and breathe. And really get one more opening with it, right? Which is great, because now I'm getting that rotation in the upper back. Okay, so that'll be our number 2. By the way, we do this on both sides, right? 6 to 8 breaths. And then from there, I'm gonna go into my 90-90. So 90-90, this is a great one because we kind of get that double whammy. Think about 90-degree position in the front, 90 in the back. The heel should kind of hit, right? If I draw a line here, it should hit that knee and run straight into the ankle. From there, first part, what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna get my belly button facing that knee. Again, middle of my chest facing that knee. I wanna arch my low back. Most people will have some rounding here, right? So I'm gonna arch my low back and then think about pushing my hip back like I'm doing an RDO, right? So I don't wanna just bend over here. I'm gonna push my hip back. I'm gonna close this gap. Again, I'm fighting for that arch back a little bit. So I feel all that stretch in my hip. Pull myself down. From there, I'm gonna try to get my belly button to my back knee, right? So now if you can be upright and do this, great. If you do not have that range of motion, you might have to lean back a little bit, and that's okay, right? So I'm gonna try to get the belly button pointing here, stay as upright as I can, arch that low back again. I'm feeling that hip stretch. Oof. All right, so once I'm here, hang out for a little bit. Now I'm gonna push that knee down for 10, 9, 8, speed it up, pretend it's 0. Exhale. I'll be able to get a little bit more range of motion. And I'm gonna come back to the front. And again, right? So I try to go 5 reps per side here, right? But notice, I'm not holding my breath, I'm breathing, right? And every time I create tension, like next time around, I should be able to get more range of motion from that. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna go into a Spiderman Lunge position. It's almost like I open stuff up. My Spiderman Lunge, some will call this the best stretch in the world, right? So I'm stepping, I'm gonna lock out my back knee. The other thing too is I like to get the elbow to instep. So I'm keeping my chest tall and I'm gonna drive that elbow down, right? And from there, so now I'm getting that big stretch here in the hip. Now I'm gonna reach and I'm looking at my hand coming all the way around, coming back down, right? Hand goes down, switch up, other side. So this is key though. I'm reaching with my heel, right? My back heel is reaching out. I'm dropping my elbow, keeping that chest tall. big stretch, reach, and opening up, okay? And again, nice and controlled and smooth. We're gonna go 5 reps like that. And from there, this is the key, right? Make these very deliberate. Because you saw like people just kind of flailing around, going through the movements. Now you wanna own every rep on this. Okay, from there, we're gonna go downward dog position. So think push-up position, right? We're gonna drive back. So I'm keeping my shoulders square. I'm driving back and pushing. Notice I'm pushing the ground away, getting a big stretch in my calves and my hammies. And then from there, I'm going to rotate and reach. I almost want to pull myself through. You can see how I grab my knee, pull myself through, kind of like under the armpit, reset, exhale, and we'll just repeat, right? Go right back, think tall, arch that low back again. Is going to make you feel your hamstrings more. Pull it through one side, pull through the other side, and kind of resetting. Again, most of these, you're thinking about that 5 to 8 rep range, right? And nice and deliberate, depending on what time you got. I'll usually just use a timer. Hey, I got 10 minutes, I got 8 minutes, I got 12 minutes, and I'll go through these sequences. Okay, from there, tabletop. Now this one, I wouldn't want to call it necessarily advanced, but you know, a lot of folks will be tight with this one. So it's basically a bridge with the reach. So think, but I don't only bridge on one side. So I'm gonna make sure I screw my shoulder down, keep it stable, and I'm gonna drive my hips to the ceiling. So the same side glute of the hand that's down, that's the one you really wanna push up, right? I'm gonna open up my chest, I'm gonna reach to the ceiling, and I'm really driving this hip up. Now I'm getting that upper back rotation. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, come back down, and we're just gonna go other side, right? Same thing, screw that shoulder down, drive up, same side. Let's inhale, exhale, so don't hold your breath, and coming back down. Same thing, we're gonna do 3 to 5 reps here, again, with 2 to 3 second holds. From there, we go to tie sit, and again, this is great for hips activation, right? I'm gonna really think tall, right? So somebody's pulling me by a string at the top of the head, abs are braced for the punch. I don't wanna use momentum, right? So I wanna slowly drive myself up, squeeze, right? Eccentric, so slow control coming down. Okay, and we're gonna do 3 to 5 reps before we switch up, right? And go to the other side, do the same thing, right? Slowly coming up, slowly coming down. Again, do not drop here. You're really trying to control it. And by the way, if you don't have, you know, you can be close to something, even use your hand to give you a little bit of support if you need it on that, right? Because it's gonna be helpful. But notice, like I'm not trying to pop down. I'm using those muscles to pull me down. And that's like a big, I would say, difference. Okay, last 2 drills we're gonna do. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna do squat to stand, and we're gonna do a thoracic drill against the wall. All right, so this one is a couple of things. It's thoracic upper back rotation, but it's also like bending of the spine. Shout out to Vernon Griffith for this one. I initially learned that many years ago. So imagine I'm gonna start with trying to, and you could have a foam roller pushing against the wall just to keep you more stable here, right? Imagine I'm gonna turn my chest to here, open everything up, and now I'm going to glide up against the wall, come across, and then try to bend down as far as I can, come back, open up, and now on this side, get as much range as possible while I'm staying open. Make sure you're breathing. And again, do the best that you can. Get the range of motion that you can, but this is me being able to move my spine. Let's do one more. Too late. It's spirit on. Not definitely one I need to work on more on. Again, we'd go like 5, 6, 7, 8 reps, switch it up, go to the other side, and use your breathing, right? Because if you stay, I would say, holding your breath, you're not gonna get as much movement, right? And then our squat pattern, we're gonna go squat to stand in a side lunge glide. So I'm gonna hook my feet. I'm doing this against the wall, you can do it anywhere, right? But I'm gonna hook my feet, pull myself down into this position, And I notice I'm creating tension on my toes, right? So coming back up, feeling tension in my hamstrings. I go left and right, and repeat. Right, posture up, head as close to the ceiling as possible, but as close to the floor as possible. Right, 6 to 8 reps on this one. And last but not least, we're going to open up the groin area some more, which I'm going to go into a side lunge position, and I'm going to feel my groin, get that stretch. By the way, you can support yourself here if you need to, right? I'm going to push actively into the ground. So I'm creating 2 to 3 seconds of tension, and then I'm going to glide across, right? Pushing my hips back, push down, 2, 3, and come across, right? Push down, 1, 2, 3, drop if you need to. Now I can get more range of motion. Again, right? So I'm actively pushing, kind of closing the gap between the two, and I'm going to do 6 to 8 reps on that one, right? So if you go, again, I walked you through these drills, mostly just one side. But if you do, I recommend all of them. It's gonna take you about 12 minutes initially, maybe even 15. And as you get more proficient, we'll kind of go down to like 10 to 12, right? But if you can't do all of them, hey, do like at least 8 minutes of this per day, every day, 7 days a week for 30 days. That's my challenge to you, because I want you to see how much better your low back, your hips, like everything feels if you're doing this on a consistent basis, right? That's why it's called movement hygiene. So that's my challenge to you. Well, let me know how you do in the comment section. And by the way, if you want to look, feel, perform more like an athlete without nagging aches and pains, make sure to join this channel as I drop more education like this.